In this video, we're going to cover setting default print options on estimates. We're going to cover the report criteria menu, estimate options, necessary option combinations, and saving your settings as the default. Estimate options in Control are selected on the report criteria menu. In Control, I have an estimate open here. On the right action bar, I'm going to select Standard Estimate from the Print button, and our report criteria menu appears. We're going to focus on the options on the report criteria menu, go through each one and see how they affect our estimates. The first item on the report criteria menu is Use Display Name for Product. Looking in Control in my product setup, this product's name is Roll Sign Print. It is also the product code. The category is digital prints. The display name normally will default to the product code, which is Roll Sign Print, but suppose that we don't like the terminology of Roll Sign Print and we want to call our product banners. So looking at this example, on the top, when Use Display Name for Product is selected, we can see that the product description is banner prints. Okay, assuming that we have checked off the Use Display Name for Product option, we'll notice in the first example of the first line item, the product reads banner prints, which is what we changed the display name to. Unchecking that same option on the report menu, the product reads Roll Sign Print, which is the actual name of the product. So essentially, using the display name for product option will change the product name on the estimate from the system name, in this case of Roll Sign Print, to the display name which we gave it earlier, which was banner prints. The next option I'd like to look at is the Hide Line Item Description. Very simply, this option hides or does not print the description on the line item. Looking at this example, on the first line item we have Hide Line Item Description checked, and so the description is blank. Unchecking it, we'll look for the line item description that is on the. Selecting Print Estimate Barcodes will print a barcode on your estimate if you're using some sort of barcode system. Normally this item is left unchecked, and as you can see, it simply doesn't, it suppresses the barcodes. When Show Line Item Totals is selected, very simply the system is going to print the line item total for each line item. Left unselected, the line items will print with no totals. If you want your customer to see the parts on an estimate, you are going to select the Show Parts option. And looking at a comparison of these two, this is an estimate with the parts list, and this is the estimate without the parts list. Looking at the two, you can see that the subtotals are printed here with the totals down here in the lower right hand corner of the estimate. If Print Totals is unselected, there will be no dollar values shown on the estimate. The Print Totals option simply does that. It will print the totals on your estimates. The option Show Entered By will basically, if selected, show who entered the estimate. As you can see, when the option is selected, Entered By, in this case store owner, appears. If the item is unselected, that field is left blank. If you have an estimate that includes child items and you do not want to show how much the line item of the child item is, you would select Roll Child Totals into Parents. That'll take the dollar amounts of the child items and move them up to the parent item. Looking at the example, we can see Roll Child Items checked on the first line item here, and we have a grand total showing for $683.60. The child item has no subtotal. Leaving that unchecked will produce a subtotal for the parent item, which is 1, and also for the child item, which is 1A. By default, child items don't print on the estimate unless you select the Print Child Items option. And that looks something like this. When Print Child Items is selected, it will print your first line item and any child items that follow underneath the main parent item. Leaving it unchecked will suppress child items and will just list the parent item. If your pricing is generating some sort of discounts for your customers and you want that to show on the estimates, you have to choose the Show Discounts option. Choosing that option will print the discounts on the estimate. Leaving that option unchecked hides the discounts from the customers. The next option is Print Images. If we have any images attached to the product and we want to see them on estimates, we have to select the Print Images option. And under the first line item, the image that is attached to the estimate will print if that option is selected. Left unchecked, the images are suppressed. If any notes have been typed into the estimate and we want them to show, we have to select the Show Notes option. When the Show Notes option is selected, the notes will print here on the estimate in the lower left hand corner. If unselected, the field will be left blank. Show Payment Terms options will print your customer's payment terms on the estimate. Left unchecked, the payment terms will not show. So on the left we have the Show Payment Terms option selected, and if we look in the lower left hand corner, the payment terms for that particular customer will print. When the Show Payment Terms option is unchecked, that field is left blank. If you have a tax-exempt customer and you want their tax exemption ID to appear on the estimate, we would select the next option, which is Show Tax Exemption ID. Looking at the estimate, we notice that in the underneath the totals, the tax exempt number appears on the estimate with that option chosen. With the option unchosen, that field is left blank. If you want the estimates to show the price for each unit, we would select Show Unit Price. And looking at this example, when Show Unit Price is selected, we have a quantity of 4, and it's broken down by the unit price to produce a subtotal on the right here. If the item is unchecked, we have the quantity, but no unit price is shown, and the only thing we'll see is the subtotal. After you've had a chance to go through your options and determine which ones are going to fit your shop's needs the best, you will want to come over and save these settings. Use the Save These Settings as the default button. That will save your options system-wide so that anyone printing estimates will get the same results consistently across the board. So to save the defaults, we'll use the Save These Settings as the default option, and next time that you print or pull up estimates, your prior settings will be saved in the system. That concludes this video. I hope you found it helpful.